We'll share your screen and unmute yourself so we can hear your presentation.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Can you also see the screen?
We can.
Okay.
All right. You have 1 second. Let me reset. You have 4 minutes. Go.
So I'll be presenting VideoWiki. With VideoWiki, we are solving the current problem of learning disruption by helping teachers digitize the training content for a digital anywhere, anytime learning. So as you all know, the impact of COVID-19, UNESCO has already reported that close to 1.5 billion students are being kept out of schools and universities due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. 58% of these students are between the age group of 15 to 21, and 42% in the, did it the opposite, 42% in higher ed and 58% in K-12, which is 5 to 15 years of age. This is a sample student persona that we created. We won't have time to discuss it in details, but the main concern is already discussed in Dave's and Com's presentation over the lack of engagement and high MOOC dropout rates on MOOCs. So I don't have to explain that in detail. Over the other side, for the teachers, the disruption is very real. And the main pain point for teachers is the loss of physically controlled environment and the transformation of learning process to a completely online one. So these are the two things that we were able to identify out of this persona research. So how do we ensure learning continuity when classes are not possible? Classroom coaching is completely digital. The coaching has to go virtual. The curriculums have to be taught digitally, and the content has to be shared online rather than in a physical format. The solution is that let's get our digital content online and immersive. So we are helping teachers to create digital and immersive content by getting online with their learning methodologies, by digitalizing and digitally transforming the processes involved in the content creation. The goal of this project is to provide a tool for teachers to digitize their lectures and for students to come and learn in an engaging environment. The solution works like this. You just have to get your lecture, paste a script, and the AI assisted algorithm breaks this into scenes. These scenes are again contextualized with keyword detection and to try and figure out what the scene talks about. A simple API call gets stock images, recommends it to the teacher. In a very simple case, it would be like you pasted the script, you reviewed the content, the video, and you just have it to publish and share with your students. The need is to build an inclusive and collaboratory platform for learners and teachers where they can freely, digitally, borderlessly, and simply create and share coaching material. Using VideoWiki, you can teach subjects, you can convert your research papers and notes into engaging videos, and also teach art and craft and simple how-to videos. The categories are defined as kids, early school, maths, arts, scientific, and we can later experiment with immersive virtual reality projects also. What sets us apart is the automated and assisted nature of our tool, collaboratory approach between teachers and students, and lastly, open source and crowdsourced creation of learning material. We are a team of diverse skills. Natalia comes from extensive educational background, and myself, Shivam, we are coming from some of us are coming from a technology background, and we have a diverse team coming from various countries to work on this project. The next steps for us are to implement the solution worldwide to enable teachers and students around the world, because because the impact is global. So we want to create a platform which is equally important in Europe as in South Africa or African countries. This is where I end. We have done a lot more other research in terms of personas and all, but I don't think we will have time to explain this. Hello?
Yep. All right, judges, floor is yours. Y'all have 5 minutes to ask questions.
So what market research did you do with regards to companies that are doing similar things to this? Because obviously there's lots of learning and platforms.
Yes. So from a competitor's perspective, we just checked on, what tools have teachers adopted already. Like we already spoke about Moodle and, Blackboard and other such tools. So we did ask teachers rather than going for a competitive analysis by checking out competitors. We ask teachers what tools have they started adopting to, and what are their needs that we can cater to or fulfill. So there are other tools, but there are, even in this hackathon, there are people who are trying to solve the same problem in a different way. Corm is talking about collaboratory networks, and Dave about corporate training. So there are a lot of people who are trying to solve the same problem. There are competitors. However, we are addressing the need from a teacher's perspective, from a requirement perspective.
Okay, the great presentation. I would like to know, in theory and in research, looks very fabulous, but what actually you developed in this weekend? Did you develop some kind of an AI algorithm? Can you showcase what
Yes, I can showcase. So are you seeing my screen still?
Yeah, it says enable learning. Yeah, it says create a video. Yep.
Yeah, so we just took one example of the circular economy and all. This was a topic of interest. Somebody was talking about this, and we did some AI experimentation. So if you click here, create scenes, this does sentence boundary detection using an artificial intelligence, and it creates into different scenes. The next piece is about the library, where it identifies the keywords and gets a simple video from using a Pixabay API, open API.
Okay. It may take time to play. Let people ask questions more.
Yeah. No, I ended my answer, so I think it's working.
I've got a question as a teacher myself and a trainer myself. So what would you need from my side to bring everything into the learning mode? Because you need, of course, all the input from my side. And if I haven't written it down, so how do I do it?
Yeah, you have to have something written down. Otherwise, you will have to create, whatever you want. Like, without having a content, you cannot digitize the content. So you will have to bring the research or a blog or whatever you want to, digitize. It's basically, focused towards creating engaging curriculums, because the classrooms and the teachings have to be completely digital. So the teachers will need more tools in order to create engaging content.
Do you have any other questions from the other judges?